count money, man. Stack riches. Trying told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the Grindcast. Simon Arias here. Get ready, it's a new day. What's up, gang? Welcome to another episode of the Grindcast. Get ready, it's a new day. We got special guests in the house. We got Big Perm.
What's up, y'all?
We got Isaac Greeley in the house.
Come on, Isaac.
And we got Evan, new to the Grindcast. Evan Boris.
Yes, Evan Boris.
Evan Boris in the house. And so I'm going to briefly reintroduce Isaac. Evan is one of the best striking coaches in the area from Toronto, making a huge impact in the MMA world, a huge impact in a lot of people's lives. Isaac, former NCAA All-American wrestler, multiple-time runner-up national champ, rolling in the national champ, just won Pan Ams, silver Pan Ams,
yes,
right? Silver medal Pan Ams this year. 45 years old, rolling like he's 25 years old.
25
He's also a chiropractor and doctor by trade, Dr. Greeley over here. But his biggest passion is being a doctor on the mats, and he's impacting so many people on and off the mats. And these two dynamic duo in the MMA world. And whenever you see the Mat Factory stamp, which Isaac runs the Mat Factory, whenever you see the Mat Factory stamp and people are fighting, more often than not, they're probably going to come out on top at some of those things. So, Isaac, if you wouldn't mind, maybe just give us a quick intro of Evan.
Yeah, Evan Striking Concepts, a.k.a. Striking Concepts.
Yes.
Met Evan a number of years ago now. He was actually living in South Florida. He was coaching one of my old guys, Dominic Mazzata. Developed a very close relationship. Just hit it off great. Had a lot of mutual respect. And then, just led us today. Evan can kind of lead into it, but he lives in Canada.
Right now, Canada.
And they're a little bit on lockdown, so I talked to him. Said, come down to Pittsburgh. Let's train some MMA fighters. So we've been having a blast the last few months, and really raised our level, all around level of game with our fighters, and couldn't be more proud of that.
Let's dig in. Let's go straight for it. So, Isaac, how do you train your mind to do what it is that you want it to do? So much of grappling and fighting, we were just talking downstairs about the wrestling grind is mental. How do you overcome that mental aspect? What advice would you give?
I mean, the mental side of it is 90% for sure. I think the biggest thing for me is I like to embrace the suck myself. If I'm gonna be a coach, my philosophy is I got to be in the grind with the guys.
Oh, I like that.
And I appreciate the grind. I appreciate the suck. I take a wrestler's mindset with me in life, and I don't think I'll ever change. It's bred into me at a young age, and I think to keep my mind sharp, I got to make sure that I'm sharpening the sword at all times. So that's kind of where I come from that side of things.
I think one of the two things that sticks out to me about what's different about you is that not only are you mid-40s, but just still crushing everybody out there on the mats, but just active with your people like that. Not just coaching from the sidelines, but just actively out there doing the deal. Right, the passion. You could just feel the love, the passion, the energy, all of that stuff. And then the care that you bring, which connects with that passion of just the care. You could feel how much he cares about what he's doing, how much he cares about the people, the passion, all of that stuff. So part of that is, you talked about this past week, you had 3 fighters, fight. You guys came out 2-1, 2 fighters won. One part of the process is sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Maybe Evan, could you talk to us a little bit about, failure and how you think that relates to success? I know you've trained some of the best fighters in the world, and not every one of them goes undefeated.
That's right. Like, especially in MMA, it's a situation where you're always going to go. It's just a matter of time, but you're always going to go, just because the amount that goes in, the amount of different elements that go into mixed martial arts, you're going to get matched up maybe along the way where your development isn't there yet. Like Kamaru Usman, if you look at his record, he's got a loss to this dude that you've never heard of in an organization called CFA, and what that did for him was allow him to go, oh man, I can get submitted too, even though I'm a, NIA champion, even though I'm this great wrestler, even though I'm, a U.S. representative, I got these great skills, I can still get submitted too? Okay, all right, hold up, what do I got to do? Let me engineer this thing a little differently.
Yes.
So everybody's always going to go, more or less, but it lets you know who you are, right? Like, I wanted to be, I swore I was going to be the best Canadian that ever did Muay Thai, and then I was going to go into boxing, and then I was going to go into kickboxing, I was going to do all these things. You find yourself cut open and having to rebuild from surgery, and then you figure out, like, who do I really want to be? What do I really want to do? Oh, I really want to, devote my life to martial arts, or this is my calling. And until you have a setback, you can tell God your plans all you want.
Right.
He'll just laugh at you. And you find yourself coming out of a operation or coming off of a hard loss, or your girl leaves you, or
The
you
girl
lose
leave you now. It's a problem then, brother. Woo, that girl leave you, something going down.
right? You lose
You're killing everything.
You lose your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mad, you angry. You got to
Yeah.
deal with that, but you got to know yourself, right? And failure forces you to take that hard look and look at yourself and say, who do I want to be, and how do I want to get there?
Now, do you guys ever get like mad that want to like beat somebody's ass, like for real? Like, do they
Like
say
in real life?
Like, yeah. After like when you're working, you say, would you want to like whoop somebody's ass? Like, man, I really want to fuck you up, man, for real.
I think Coach be getting his moments.
Yeah.
He don't
Yeah.
let nobody
Yeah.
know.
No way.
He don't let
He gets
nobody
mad?
know,
You
but
gotta get mad
he
at-
getting his moments.
No.
Hey,
Never.
there's a
Come on,
story
ever?
for all those at the Math Factory. There's a story about the time Coach Greeley kicked everybody up out the gym.
Oh,
Everybody had to go. So
Everybody had to go?
Everybody
Oh,
had to
that's
go.
a bad day.
why was that
Yeah,
day?
yeah.
Oh.
It was a bad day. A little bit about it. Tell us a little bit about it. Maybe like a second of it.
I mean,
How'd you get so mad?
Yeah, like how?
I know I would feel like, he gives you that because he gives so much love to
Yeah,
the place.
yeah,
It's almost like
yeah.
that, I let him down
And that's
type
what
deal.
people say. People say,
I feel like I let him down.
betray Coach.
Right,
I can't
right,
betray
I can't,
Coach.
right?
I do it for Coach.
I
Until he
mean,
kicked everybody out.
it happens. I
Pissed
mean,
you off. What
yeah,
happened?
what the hell?
you could. My wife could tell you. I have a line I don't like to cross. So I'm a 10-1 guy. 10 positive to 1 negative. I like to be. That's kind of my personal philosophy. But if I get to that line and that negative's there, 1 out of 100 times, and it's going to be pretty explosive. So I mean, it happens. I coach wrestling for 20 years now, and all my wrestlers know every generation has seen it at least once. That side of me. But it's there.
there.
It's never gonna leave me.
No.
It's what made me who I was.
That's
No
right.
road rage?
Fire in you.
No, I haven't had road rage, but
Do you?
no.
Perm's getting better. He used to
Perm
argue with
does.
people. He get me nervous out there.
Yeah,
Perm start arguing with people on the
yeah.
road. I'm like,
I
Perm.
get- Yeah, they get on my
This
nerves.
is stressful.
sometimes. Yeah, man,
He starts arguing with him.
Yeah,
and
he's
shit.
too
I'm
nice.
Like,
I can't
damn.
see that.
Yeah, he gets mad too.
because they
He's
try
like
to hit
you.
me and stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
He's like
He's in
you.
the line, yeah.
Tell me this as a coach, man, Isaac. What most commonly stops people with talent? People that you see that are super talented.
Evan and I talk about this a lot. Number one, he can dive into this, is like unrealistic goal setting. We talk about that. Being true to themselves.
What do you mean unrealistic goal setting?
I mean, we get guys that come in the gym all the time and they want to be UFC champion in 2 years, and we're like, well, that's a lot.
But
That's
it's
a
also
lot.
vague.
I mean,
it's also
it's
very
vague, yeah.
vague,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
to say, I want to be a millionaire.
Right.
I want to be rich. That doesn't mean nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you going to do it? What
How you
step
gonna
are
do
you
it?
going to take?
Right.
Yeah.
What does it require? We got to be able to reverse engineer. I got to be able to see it from the root to the fruit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Amen.
So, like-
from the root to the fruit. I like that, dog.
I wish
Come
I came
on.
up with it. I stole that.
I like it, though. I like it.
Like a guy, I love to use Camaro because he's a guy that I saw so early on that was like, oh man, I got to work on this jab. He won a world title with the jab. He defended a world title with the jab. Like, okay, yeah, he did many other things along the way, but he recognized, man, small gloves. I gotta understand the defense. I gotta understand the distance. I gotta understand how this incorporates into my wrestling. I gotta work and work and work and work on these little things because he saw the vision of how it would get to the big things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Doing the little things.
Right.
That's it.
So what else?
I think obsession. The most talented guys got to be obsessed. You
Got to be
You
obsessed.
got to be obsessed, and if you have those goals and you know how to
Obsessed.
set them, you're doing little things, you're working on your fundamentals, and you're obsessed. You're spending every waking hour thinking about your goals. That's gonna
Heard that.
expose your talent. You're going to be able to have a chance at achieving those great things. Because there's 100, you got to realize there's 100 to 1,000 of you out there that want it. There's 100 to
That want
1,000 in your weight class in the world that want it. You think you want it? They want it just as bad. It's going to be the little things that pay off.
Small things start to
So the
separate
small
you.
things are definitely, I've luckily been around a few, really gifted athletes, and I've seen guys not reach their potential, which is it's heartbreaking. And I've seen guys exceed their potential. So I think talent.
What's the biggest couple things of people that don't reach their potential?
Oh, sacrifice.
Why?
The S word.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
They don't want to sacrifice.
Everybody wants to be at home with their girl for dinner. Everybody does. Everybody wants to sleep
Everybody.
on Saturday and Sunday. Everybody does. Yeah, you don't want to go to practice. You don't want to go to wrestling practice. It sucks. It hurts. You got to spar the next day. It sucks. It hurts. But the guys who do get to the places you want to go. So what you say and what you do got to line up, or you're going to end up ass out.
Right.
Yes.
The back
I think
burner.
that's it. That's the word, sacrifice.
What you say you want and what you're willing to do and give up in
Sure.
order to get it.
Yeah.
That's the key. How do you overcome self-doubt? You probably get a lot of people that have a little bit of doubt, and you turn those people into animals sometimes. How do you overcome helping people that have a little bit of self-doubt?
They be like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Don't hurt me like this, boss.
Yeah, I think you lie if you don't have self-doubt. That's a part of the process.
Yeah.
I've suffered from that myself. It's tough, especially when you're in a competitive combat sports. It's you versus them. You're out there on the stage, wrestling, grappling, MMA. It's boxing, anything like that. There's a ton of self-doubt that creeps in, especially the closer the competition that you get. Everyone can say 2 months out, like I'm winning this fight, I'm knocking this guy out, or I'm gonna win this championship. But when it gets closer and it gets real, your nerves start creeping in. Self-doubt starts really creeping in. I think the important things are having certain people in place in your life. Having a strong faith in God, huge, just to help you, with everyday life. Having good coaches that understand that self-doubt creeping in and to shove it down, to nip that in the bud. I think that's super important to have those kind of people in your life. And then, reading, studying, looking at other people that are champions, understanding their mindset, what separates them. And I think a little bit of self-doubt is healthy too. I don't think it's something that you gotta completely ignore. I think that gives you that edge when you go into a competition. Go into anything challenging, you have that little bit of self-doubt to really stand up to it. I think that's an important thing because it makes you sharp. So
Wow.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, please do.
So I think what Coach was referring to is all excellent, and I think that when you combine that with preparation, a lot of it takes care of itself. For example, we had a guy who, this guy would ask me if it's the right time to go to the bathroom, or if it's the right time, to breathe. The littlest things. He was squeezing every muscle super tight, But for 8 weeks in a row, he showed up on time. He did the right things. We drilled specific things. And a certain point along the way, he started to see himself not as maybe, but as definitely,
Yes.
And then we walk
So
out,
much work put in that you start to believe so much because you put in so much work.
and then he takes that walk, and the cage door closes, and it comes off, and he comes back and he goes, "Coach, how'd that happen?" I said, "You did it every step of the way. You visualized it. You saw it from the root to the fruit. You drilled it. You built it. You failed at it. You failed
Gotta
at
fail.
it. He failed at it.
Yeah, part of the process.
It didn't just come out the box ready to work, right?
Right.
But he had failed and overcome, failed and overcome, failed and overcome, failed and overcome, failed.
Bam.
And it, bang,
Love it.
blossomed.
Now, how long have you been doing this, Evan?
I got in, I'm 35, about to be 36. I got into martial arts about 12, 13, really started at 15, so that's where I'm at, 20 years.
Boom.
Perm, root or fruit? Pick one.
Root.
I knew you was going with the root. There was no doubt about that. You was going with the root, dog. So Isaac, what steps would you take to develop somebody? And then I want to hear from you too, Evan. What steps would you take to develop somebody with no experience?
Like if I came in.
fundamentals,
Oh, shit.
skills.
Here we
call
go.
it skill work.
All right.
So I think that
If you came in, first thing we'd have
Perm
to
is
do
coming
is
in.
you got to
He
stop
is.
smoking all them black and miles, dog.
Yeah.
We like patting Perm down when he comes into the Mat Factory.
Yeah.
Make sure he's.
Make sure you don't have nothing on.
Ain't nothing on you, brother. Is it all right? Come on.
We have the gear for him. We're ready to go. We got everything ready. But you know,
Hey, is that the next podcast? The recap of Perm's first wrestling practice?
yeah, fundamental jiu-jitsu is where we're starting them. We got
You
that.
started
down.
them light.
Yeah,
You started
yeah,
light.
yeah. So I think fundamentals. We have a system. I think that most successful, martial arts schools have. I think you got to teach the fundamentals, the skills that you feel are very important to what your systems or your philosophy is. And then, that's something that even our most advanced guys do on a daily basis. So I think starting small, just kind of like having them help them understand the concepts behind the skills and why we're doing it, like Evan likes to say. Know the why, understand the why, and then kind of like move from there to more skills until you kind of have a pretty round understanding of what's going on. And then from there, usually at that point, someone's ready to take off with the sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that I would add to that is you got to assess what you got. And sometimes that's like a big undertaking, and sometimes that's as simple as like the questions I asked you today. Where's your personality? What are you an R&B guy? Are you a smooth jazz guy? Because like the mix I might make for you is a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an R&B cat myself.
Oh, we know you a lover.
Yeah, I'm an R&B cat myself.
Everybody see Perm know he a lover, right?
Yeah, I'm a lover, not a fighter, baby.
You stumped me with the Ninja Turtles. I couldn't remember what everybody did. I remember that and I was like,
Yeah, but I mean, for
Donatello.
for all the geeks out there, like a Raphael dude gonna be way different than a Leonardo dude.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be real different. What else I asked him? I said, hey, if you were a superhero in your own movie, right, and you're one-on-one, right, you about to knock this guy off the roof, what you going to hit him with? He said, oh, I'm going to hit him with the overhand right. I said, okay, what's that telling me? That telling me he's aggressive. He's not looking for a counter. He's not looking for something slick. No, he wants to take it to your neck. You know what I mean? Because I can train a guy to do pretty much anything, but at the end of the day, he's going to be him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you adapt to that style.
I have to.
Right. Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
I can't turn you into Poindexter. You're not Poindexter.
What's super unique to me about Evan in the little bit of time that I've spent around him is just how I could see why you're so good, because you're so smart.
Right.
Like I could just tell how intellectual you are with the game, and then how you can do things like that. Like, all right, this is this person's skill set or strength. I'm going to just adopt and build a game plan around that person. Very unique from others, that I've seen and spent time with. That's the one thing that jumps off the scene to me about you, is just the intellect and intelligence that you have around the game planning and stuff like that. I could see you just crushing that aspect
you're in
of
leadership. You're in leadership. You've been leading a long time. If you treated everybody the same, actually we were talking about this at lunch. If you treat everybody the same, you're going to get mitigating results.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? You talked about buy-in, trust, loyalty, right? If I'm tailoring my approach to you, I think it's much more likely that you're going to buy in. Now that makes my job easier. That makes the likelihood of success much higher.
Right.
Now we're working together instead of working against each other.
Speaking of working together, so there's people will come to you and they'll work with you on for everybody has different goals. Yeah. Let's say somebody comes to you and says they want to be a world champion, and you're explaining to them the sacrifice, the mindset, the training, the recovery schedule, all of that stuff. How would you role play that conversation out if somebody looks at you and says, "Hey, I want to be a world champ"? What do you feel like they need to understand that they're saying?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that they want to have something so exceptional, so incredible. We were just in a seminar downstairs where part of your team was saying, "Dream big. You can't dream big enough." Some people can't even see past their own block. They can't see the world. Some people can't see past their own gym to see a world title. They can say it, but can they see it? Mm-hmm. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to see what it takes. Most of the work gets done in the dark. Most of the work gets done without the likes, without the gratification, without the glory. So I think what I try to get across to people is, if you enjoy the journey, right? If you just enjoy showing up to the gym and busting your butt to be the best that you can be, then the likelihood of you accomplishing some great things is much greater.
What are some things I got to sacrifice to be a world champ? What do I got to do?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is prioritizing where we put our time and attention. Because there's always going to be another text message you can answer. There's always going to be another like. There's always going to be another photo you can post.
Yes.
But I mean, too soon we get old, too late we get smart. We have a very limited amount of time on this rock. We have a very limited amount of time in this day. We got to get after it. It doesn't mean you burn the candle at both ends 24 hours a day, 52 weeks out of the year. It's not going to work. It's not sustainable.
Yep.
But you have to make the most of your training schedule and set micro goals to meet macro goals so that we can review and improve.
Love it. What do you think?
I'm motivated.
I want to be a world
right,
champ.
I'm
Somebody
ready.
says, I want to be a world champ. Talk to me about.
I've had these
Give me
conversations.
the hard stuff. Give me the stuff that people don't want to hear. What stuff do they need to hear that they don't want to hear?
I mean, number one, it's
Your wife ain't gonna like it.
yeah.
Your wife ain't gonna like
Yeah.
it.
That's the first one, huh? The first rule is this.
Why ain't your wife
like
gonna like it? Why would you
Well,
say that? Because it's the truth. Why?
It is
Why?
the truth. Why?
Well, it's not that she may or may not like it, but you're in a relationship, so she has her idea of what the relationship's going to look like. You have your idea of what the relationship's going to look like, but you're also married to the success. You're married to the game to a certain amount of time. So you realize, I got 15 years of athletic potential. I got maybe 17 years of athletic potential. I got to go. I'm sorry, sweetie. I can't watch Home and Garden TV. I can't. I got to go now, right? And sometimes people, they agree with the end goal, but how we get there is different, right? They say, we need a balanced relationship. Well, yeah, when you look back on the balance of the relationship, some years it's going to be 70% you and 30% her, and the other years it's going to be 30% you and 70%, like if there's a child coming or something like that, it's not going to be 50-50 every day. Right, and so that's where the communication starts to have to happen, and sacrifice on both parts has to happen. And you're not always going to like it. There's going to be some rainy seasons.
Truth.
Love
that.
But that's sacrifice and dedication to a communal goal, right?
What other things? What do they not want to hear?
I mean,
That you need to hear.
self-motivation is the key. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, I can't want it for you. He can't
Right.
want it for you. Your girlfriend can't want it for you. Your mom can't want it for you. You got to want it for yourself. I've had these conversations with guys, and I hear their words, but you have a true champion in front of you. They're telling you this. You're not telling them anything. They know already. There's no conversation that needs to be had. If I'm telling you this is what you need to do, and you're taking notes on it, then you're gonna think about it and make your own decisions. But when you're telling me what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it and what your goals are and how you're gonna reach your goals, and that's a world champion. That's a champion in general in anything. So I think for me, for an athlete, if I see that self-motivated athlete that's doing things in the dark that Evan's talking about, I don't even know you're in the gym. You don't need to tell me. I already know you're in the gym. I know what you're doing. I know you're eating the right things, getting your sleep, working on your recovery. I don't need to set your recovery schedule up. I don't need to tell you the days you need to take off. That's the kind of athlete that can really become super successful in any sport. But for us, we get excited because, some athletes need a little help at the beginning. Here's what we got to do. Here's how we set goals. Here's our training schedule. This is what I need you to do. This is this is your homework. And that's fine. That's part of the process. But when they get to a certain point and they take over their own script and they're a straight line, like we talked about this last time, they're not a square. They don't have four things they're focused on. They have the gym, their family, and their craft, right? And they're the straight line to the gym and home, and they're spending time with their wives or girlfriends or whatever, family. That's it. That's all they care about. They don't care about going out. They don't care about impressing anybody on social media. They don't care about anything. That's it. That's where they make quick growth because it happens so fast. I mean, I've seen guys like
That's the
Usman.
You got to be obsessed.
You see guys like him. I was down at the gym. I saw him, a couple years ago. Now he's a UFC champion. You see guys, even some of the guys that still have it, like Dustin Poirier, perfect example. Like he's still living that. You can tell by his actions. He still has that straight line. That's how he's able to go out and do amazing things still at his age. And he's married. He's got a wife, very supportive family. So I think you can take lessons from that as well. So if you have someone in your corner, we're going to talk about that. That's very, if they're truly in your corner and they know it's 70% on you right now, we got bills this is our time to make hay. They're behind that. That's going to really help you make a lot of hay.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. That's the first time I heard it. I like that.
We want to make some hay.
We making some hay, dog.
Some hay today.
That's what we got to tell
County.
him, Perm.
No.
That's a Potter County.
Potter County. That's what we say.
Make some hay,
Time to
y'all.
make hay.
Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.